And what does Paddy Pimblett do next? Because we know what happened on Saturday night. The man looked phenomenal. He looked really good. He showed that he had the things that I'm sure a lot of his haters didn't think he had. He went out and showed they had great determination. The man can take a shot. Scousers don't get knocked out after all. Whatever you want to say. Yes, there's technical things that he could have done differently. And we'll get to that in just...
Yes, there are technical aspects he could have handled better. And we'll address that in just a moment. We're going to explore how he can elevate his performance. The final round concluded. But for Paddy Pimblett, it felt like a death knell following UFC 34 speculation. Against Justin Gaethje, getting dropped continuously left him bruised and beaten, his face streaming blood. It was a savage beating, a punishing ordeal that many viewed as a catastrophic final segment of every fight.
And we'll get to that in just a second, and we're going to talk about what he needs to do to tighten things up. We saw was a man that didn't want to give up, a man that could take a beating, hammer and the nails. That the man is not the type of guy to give up on himself. He's got the heart. Back to your corner, and you're black and blue, and your face is pouring with blood like me after Anderson Silva in round 3, right?
His vulnerability laid bare for all to witness, igniting talk that his title dreams might be crushed before they ever really took shape. The worry wasn't his loss, but what remained after. That much was clear. He's got the persistence, the determination, Paddy's toughness, showing his ability to absorb punishment.
I said, wow, you proved how tough you are. And he was like, listen, I know how tough I am.
I know how tough I am anyway. I don't need to prove it to anyone. I wanted to leave highlights.
That really got my respect, because that's what a fight is meant to be. It's like, surprise, we're all tough, okay? We can all take a shot, well, most.
Still, Paddy's own statement was his sole aim was to become world champion, not simply to endure this perspective. Though admirable, this starkly contrasted with his actual performance, highlighting a probable gap between aspiration and present execution. It created a challenging outlook for what lay ahead, to my mind at least. So I like that.
Need to be tough, right? So I liked that about Paddy. However, he came out with his chin up and his hands low.
And I see it, right? You know?
That's what some people said. That's the way he fights. That's his style, and he gets away with it, and all the rest.
He lost the match. He wasn't crowned champion.
Just a few little minor tweaks, like tucking the chin, lifting the hands a little bit, using more feints, and being more like a boxer, mixing up the arts of Thai boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, but doing it as a boxer, moving and grooving, shaking.
But there were particular issues that one glaring weakness could not be overlooked. Paddy fought with his chin dangerously elevated and his hands constantly dropped. Some supporters described it as his style, yet a trained eye immediately identified it as a grave mistake. This wasn't about flair, protection against the sport's most dangerous strikes.
They don't know what they're talking about. Did this for 20-odd years, guys. I know a little bit about it. Another thing that he has to do, they got to bring in some wrestlers, man, right? The entire team at Next Gen, and this is not me talking crap about Next Generation. They're a tremendous team, and they are producing a lot of great athletes. But I spoke to Luke Riley and Shem Rock, and they said they don't really do wrestling practices. Again, I am not talking shit. I swear to you, it's just a suggestion. They do MMA, jiu-jitsu, grappling, okay? What we saw with Paddy and Justin was every time they clinched up against the fence, they would lean up against the fence, and then Paddy would kind of...
Such defensive negligence is a price for which he paid dearly. Need to be tough, right? So I appreciated that about Paddy. However, things I wasn't satisfied with. He lost the fight. The cost of that approach showed in every exchange. Paddy absorbed many strikes that better technique would have avoided.
MMA, jiu-jitsu, grappling, okay? What we saw with Paddy and Justin was every time they clinched up against the fence, they would lean up against the fence, and then Paddy would kind of relax and he would kind of rest. And that's the jiu-jitsu in him, because jiu-jitsu quite literally means the gentle art. You use your opponent's strength and power against them, okay? You use their momentum, okay? It's a highly technical sport. Wrestling also is a highly technical sport, but you ain't relying on them. You are forcing the situation, and it's 100% effort and snapping them down. We saw it every time Justin Gaethje would get him in the front headlock, snap him down to the ground, start pummeling him.
While displaying tremendous courage by taking hits and persisting, the goal in fighting isn't to receive damage. It's to land strikes while avoiding them yourself. Continuously fighting with those defensive shortcomings doesn't just lose rounds. It accumulates unnecessary damage.
He'll come again, he will fight again, but who is he going to fight next? Well, when you look at it, Ilia Topuria, what the hell is going on? I know the man's going through, and I ain't talking crap, big fan of Ilia. He's going through a personal situation, he's getting divorced and custody battles and stuff like that, right? Okay? But the man's got to fight at some point. He fought in summer last year, okay? He's not injured. I saw he was in the gym recently. The rightful fight that needs to take place is Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria, right? That fight needs to happen, hopefully at the White House. Outside of that, we got Arman Tsarukyan. But Paddy ain't going to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Even though they got beef and even though Arman would love to get his hands on him, I really wouldn't suggest that right now. That's not the fight.
Potentially shortening a promising career and impacting long trajectory if unaddressed. These aren't minor suggestions. They're essential boxing principles that win a fight. Currently less effective because of poor. Effective fight outcomes result when delivered from a more stable, disciplined position.
Look it down. Again, not talking shit before all you Paddy fans come at me, right? It's probably going to be Paddy Pimblett's next opponent. We saw that these two, they went crazy. Said that joke that I defended because it was a joke, but a lot of people didn't see it that way. A lot of people said that he shouldn't talk. I do get that. Me and Paddy spoke about this on the interview that we did last week. If you haven't seen it, it's on the channel. Check it out, right? There's a lot of beef between these two, and it would be a stylistically fun fight. And in the Paramount era, we want fun fights.
That's the difference separating a simple brawler from a true mixed martial artist. A crucial finding by the experts was the ability to fight like a boxer, even from a Muay Thai stance. It simply requires rotating the lead foot straight forward from 45 degrees. This could sweep the cage. As some might mistakenly suggest, it provides depth with superior effectiveness. Embracing this change is crucial for him to avoid being a one-dimensional fighter, transforming potential disaster into a powerful. Beyond striking, an obvious wrestling deficiency emerged. Each time Paddy clinched, he'd relax, depending on his jiu-jitsu background. The gentle art of his passiveness was frequently exploited by Gaethje, who would effortlessly drag him down into front headlocks, dominating them. In crucial moments, Paddy relaxed instead of battling, revealing a fundamental flaw in his ground game against elite wrestlers. And wrestling's essence became quite evident. While Paddy's jiu-jitsu is genuinely exceptional, showcasing creative flying triangles and strategic submissions, it is mostly defensive and responsive. Wrestling, in contrast, is all about imposing the situation, exerting full energy to control takedowns. His inability to consistently ground opponents or defend against their grappling in the clinch. This inability to impose his will is a major flaw. Next Gen, for all their numerous victories and talent, desperately needs to incorporate specialized wrestling training. The speaker mentioned, Riley and Shamrock confirmed they don't rigorously train wrestling, choosing to focus on MMA jiu-jitsu grappling. This gap represents a serious threat for Paddy's championship ambitions, since elite opponents will repeatedly exploit this fundamental weakness, potentially destroying his title pursuit, if not addressed. Nevertheless, despite these technical deficiencies, Paddy's indomitable spirit truly stood out. He displayed a warrior's and fighter's heart. He absorbed brutal shots, was dropped, never surrendered until the final bell sounded, following 5 grueling rounds. Within this sport, his mental toughness, the warrior's heart inside him, represents a significant asset, proving that despite requiring technical refinement, his desire to succeed is unshakable. His post-fight interview firmly cemented his fighter's status, showing a profound understanding of what it genuinely means to be a champion. When complimented for his toughness, he quickly responded, confirming his self-knowledge. Clearly confirming his motivation was nowhere close to shattered. It's important to frame this performance by recognizing who he battled. Justin Gaethje isn't just some average fighter. He's a double interim title challenger, possessing devastating power, extensive experience, and even considered retiring had he been beaten. Surviving 5 rounds against an adversary of such elite caliber threw his best shots, yet remaining to Paddy's genuine place among the elite. Even in loss, this was not a career-destroying defeat, but a real challenge. So what's ahead for the 31-year-old who still chases the championship? His career is far from finished, but it's at a critical crossroads. The journey back up the rankings requires careful planning and intelligent matchups. The current state of the lightweight division is a minefield, and selecting the correct opponent for his comeback fight is critical to demonstrate improvement and maintain his momentum. The division's top contenders are currently engaged, making his next move all the more fascinating. Iliad Topuria faces personal struggles, though he's also anticipated to fight Gaethje. Arman Tazarukian, despite his active feud with Paddy, is too dangerous for a comeback fight. Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira will compete for the BMF belt in March. These top 3 are out of reach, limiting the possibilities for Paddy's return. This leaves the hangman Dan Hooker as the most sensible and compelling next opponent. Ranked 6th, only 1 spot below Paddy's 5th, Hooker offers a high-stakes, intriguing storyline fight. From previous comments in an interview where they addressed their rivalry, this isn't merely a battle for rankings, it's a deeply personal. Paddy Pimblett versus Dan Hooker guarantees a truly exciting, extremely entertaining, stylistic match for fans. Both fighters are known for engaging performances, ensuring a fantastic spectacle. In today's climate-demanding Paramount, exciting matchups, this fight really satisfies every requirement. Their rankings align perfectly, making it a sensible and compelling selection, that almost crucial test for Paddy. There's also an uncertain element. In light of Benaldarius, Wallace could also represent a solid opponent for Paddy's next bout. This fight would offer a unique style test, potentially showcasing more excitement, dynamics involving 2 ground experts. It's another reasonable option depending on future results, leaving his choices available. Paddy's career wasn't destroyed. It was severely tested. He proved his heart and resilience, but also revealed significant skill deficits in his striking protection and grappling execution. This is no conclusion, but a severe public lesson. He will fight again. However, with a champion mindset, the obstacle lies in how he addresses these weaknesses to advance. The analyst's clear recommendation still firmly remains Paddy Pimblett versus Dan Hooker. This is the fight that makes the most sense across every dimension. Rankings, fan interest, and an opportunity for Paddy to showcase the necessary improvements. This is not a career destroyed, but rather a journey at a critical moment required. Silence the doubters and make your next step towards his. So is Paddy Pimblett's career real? UFC 34? No. It was fundamentally changed. He left the cage with blood on his face, yet his fighter's soul endures. The path forward is clearer, though far tougher. The question isn't if he can just survive, but if he can grow past the weaknesses laid bare. The fight wasn't destruction, but harsh public teaching. Will he learn lessons? The world waits to see if the baddie transforms this near disaster to ultimate victory.